Okay, so I realized that I don't have any of my 97 to 01 tubs listed, and of course I timed it just right with it raining right now, so I apologize for that. But real quick, just to illustrate the difference, it's super windy. You know what, I'm not even going to talk about it because I have enough videos of it. I know I have one. Okay, these two here. So this guy here, Colorado Jeep, not a bit of rust on it. It's a green one. It's not even fully dismantled yet, although I have taken a look at the bottom and I can get you. Consider this pre-dismantled, so I'll give you a little bit better deal on it. Only because I can't get in the air right now. But what that means, again, I'll just reiterate, is if there's something I don't see now that because it's not upside down or not above me, we'll just refund it. I'm not out to take anybody's money. It's just a matter of getting somebody to fully strip the rest of this down. We're as busy as we are right now. We have a little bit of money on it, some motivation for that, and your motivation is you save some money on it, and you have the assurance that if something comes back on it, rust-wise, or damage that, which the outside is pretty indicative of what it'll be as far as that goes. But as far as rust goes, something I didn't disclose, see, whatever, on the bottom, we'll just refund it or swap you out for something else. Obviously, your intention is to buy a tub, and our intention is to sell you a tub. So as long as those two align, for 18 years, it's worked out really well. We've never actually ever had to refund one. Because I do know, like I said, I've been under this one because we clearly had a frame under it. But nonetheless, let me show it to you anyway and give you the best I can on it. These videos they're way better than photos. I mean, photos are okay, and we'll do those too, but in the beginning, so no damage on the lower rocker. These things are always dinged up down here, and this one doesn't have anything like that. Top cowl area, nice and straight, no hell damage there. Crap, this is not even gonna work because it's, so now that I'm here, I'm gonna have to show you. This one is going to be an 02 more than likely. So an 02s are kind of on their own, technically. You can bolt them, let's see. Yeah, it's in of 01, so it's an 02. So this one will work on, it says it's an 01, and what they did there is they read it off of this tag here, thinking it's an 01, but anytime it's super late like that, it's always the following year. So that was our fault. One of my guys doing it, not understanding that. Okay, what am I talking about? 97 to 06, that's what you've heard. TJs are all the same. Whew, yes, they are. But there are some weird differences on the two that make them slightly different. And if you're doing a classic build, then it matters. If you're doing a repair, I should say, and you want to use everything you have, it's going to matter. Now, if you're okay and flexible, and I don't mean that in a, better than the other guy way, but in the sense that you don't really care, you can easily make this tub work for any year. I'll tell you real quick, I wasn't going to tell you in the beginning, but I'll tell you real quick because I've done these videos for 18 years I've been making videos on tubs and frames. So if you've watched it and you know the difference, just fast forward this part. The firewall is the first difference on them. Okay? In 2002, okay, so the first year, this would be it, they went to a different heater box. And because of that heater box, they patched that in. There used to be a hole there, and their hole is right there, okay? So the blower motor used to stick out. And on the later ones, they don't do that. So the heater box changed, so they changed the firewall. So that's one difference, okay? Not a big one. That's actually probably the easiest one to fix. Okay, that's one. The next one, they got a little bit different. This one's a little harder to see. Actually, you know what? It's in 03 they did that, isn't it? Yeah. I'll show you that difference here in a second. The next difference is in 02, the seat brackets, okay? So these are going to be 97 to 02 seat brackets. So back here, the difference is fine. So as long as you're okay with changing the modification on the firewall, you have a 97 to 01, you can do this tub. That's the only difference, really, is that one there, okay? Everything else can be identical. If you have an 03 to 06, this one, now your firewall is the same because that's the same firewall. Okay, this is where it gets a little confusing. But the seat brackets change. Okay, 03 to 06 uses a completely different rear seat. So if you're wanting to use this one, you can either modify it to fit your 03 to 06, or if you don't use a seat, it won't matter, or you can put a 97 to 02 seat in. However, those are much different looking then the front seats, and yada, yada, yada. So again, not a huge change, but there are some modifications there. Then they did one other thing in 03 that, again, probably not a big deal, but they reinforced, I think I have one down here. Yeah, here we go. So look here, and these are both later ones here. They reinforced this boxing area. So on the early ones, it ends right here. And on the later ones, they bevel way out, okay? Not a big deal. Roll bars are the same. Doors the same. Everything's the same. That's not going to mess with anything on it, but it does look differently. Something I actually learned this year. Okay, there's one right there. There's an 02. So this 02 one here is going to look the same as that other green one. See how it just ends right there? It doesn't bevel out. Okay, so this is a perfect example. So you got 02, 97 to 02 boxing there, 97 to 02 rear seat, and then you got 02 to 06 firewall. Okay, so this is the same one I just showed you there. So if you're okay with those things, we can go this route. And I have more options in those right now than I do the early ones. The early ones are a little bit pricier. They're getting as hard as the early frames are to get. So this says sold on it. Guy ended up wanting a different color that I happen to have and was willing to wait a little bit longer. So it's not sold. We gave him that other one. Okay, 97 to 01. Got the firewall like we have. So this is a blue one. Okay, let me walk around it real quick. Has a little damage on it, but not bad. It's got a little ding here. Okay, just mainly a scratch. It ended up in a little door ding. You can kind of see it right about there. Okay, nothing on the rocker. That's all clean. And then your back where your filler neck is, again, looks like something dragged along the side here and finally grabbed a hold of it and dinged this hole in. Pretty good end. So easy to get her in here and fix this, pull this. Shouldn't be a real bad fix. We'll knock it down a little bit for that. Otherwise, corners are nice and clean. Okay, and nice and clean. Nice and clean. This has got a ding here on it. And then the rest of the rocker, a little muddy, but this will all come right off. Okay, nice and clean there. And yeah, that's it. So, okay, floorboards, a little oxidized on that side. I'll have to focus there, but no rust. No cancer, no rot, no scaling rust. That's what I mean by that. So oxidized just means paint peeled off, water got exposed to it. You're gonna do it any metal. Same thing here, a little bit. Roll bar areas. Okay, these are super hard to pull, and normally if there's rust in them, they'll show up right there in the roll bar pads. So nothing there. Let me put the phone down real quick because this one I can show you the side of pretty easily. So I'm by myself, they're not super heavy. Okay. So what to look for? Torque pockets are the biggest thing on tubs and TJs, in my opinion. They're the most difficult to replace. So you got two back here, which almost always have one broken bolt in them. So those are great, clean. Two above your fuel tank. Okay, these float, they're supposed to. Both sides, nice clean thread. Those ones are actually easy to fix. These ones here become the pain in the butt to fix, and these are all nice and clean. Nothing's broken. Okay. Down here, same thing. A little mud on it, but okay. And that one right there. Nice clean tunnel. Okay, a little bit around the bolts, but nothing a little Rust-Oleum wire wheel won't clean up for you. If your torque pockets are broken bolts or collapse where they start cracking, sometimes they even get real bad and they collapse completely. If they're collapsed completely, this whole section, you can see the spot welds all the way through here. Okay, have to be drilled out or cut out and replaced. And that is a very, very intensive job. Looks easy, it's not, trust me. But we do sell those if that's all you're wanting to do. I have a set of those inside from a tub that was rolled over, and we could get a good set of those from. So nice clean tub. That'll be a like a low A grade. There's no rust on it. Got a little damage in the rear. This one's ready to go. I can get this one shipped almost immediately, and we'll go from there. You want to help me, Kevin, put this one back down? So the wind doesn't blow it down. Thanks, man. They're not heavy. Easier to do. They're awkward, yeah.
2 hands are better than none.
And you have a quick question for me?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show one more tub, but go ahead.
On a brake booster, there's a bracket. You want it pulled off of that bracket without it?
Keep it with a bracket.
Okay, that means I gotta pull brake pedal and all that stuff off.
Don't do it tonight, then. Do it tomorrow.
Sure? I just fucking know.
You sure?
Yeah,
You want to get it done. I mean, if you can get it,
you
you might have to pull the 4 bolts that hold that up, but I don't think you have to pull the brake pedal assembly. But you probably do have to pull the 4 bolts out of it.
Yeah, I saw that brake pedal assembly and there's rivets holding that thing. I was like, this can be this.
If it gets too complicated, we'll push it off. She's totally cool with it, so. Okay, sounds like a plan. Thank you. Okay, this is my last one. That is going to be 97 to 01 again. Again, you got the firewall hole cut out. Okay, you got the short. You don't have the beveled outsides, and you got the traditional seat brackets. So, roll bar we usually pull. If you want a roll bar with it, and you know, if you're in the East Coast, probably a good idea. You should not be able to do these because the company we were using would make us pull them, and then we'd have to break them down and put them inside. But now we got a guy doing these, and we can actually deliver them this way as long as it's not me, because I stack them. So, which is not. It's going to be a hot shot on this particular one. Floor's excellent shape, and it's not fully cleaned out, and I'll get all this shit out of it, excuse my French, but there's absolutely no oxidation. This will, perfect example, leave this one out in the weather enough and it will get that same oxidized look. It won't rust out for a long time, but you introduce salt to it and you're gonna have an issue. So I always say cover them up at least, right? If you're gonna run a hard top, no big deal. They're rarely be water in them when they're top. So those are just plugs, those are drain plugs there. Tunnels, excellent shape, no damage on the floor. Clearly, if we pull those and there happen to be rust on these roll bars, we're going to have an issue. We'll have to go a different direction. But there's no way this tub is as clean as it is and going to have that issue on it. This is the one I was thinking I was videoing when I was showing you that other green one over there. Okay, so nice clean cowl area, firewall, nice and solid, straight. Lips here are good, nice clean, okay. And this one with the roll bar might be a little heavier for me to flip up, but I'll do my best. And this orange, these thorns are super sharp over here, so. Okay, corner's good there. And on this side here. And this corner looks excellent as well. A couple small dings right there, but nothing major. All right, let me let you look at the sky again, and I'll flip this one up for you. Way heavier with the roll bar in it. Probably some of the other stuff that's still sitting in it too. So, okay, so once again, torque pocket front, middle, okay, nice clean, no cracking, no collapsing. Same thing, this is just dirty. This will come off. Let me focus there for you. Okay, we'll get this hot seat. We've been so busy. And literally have been selling tubs and frames the moment they get pulled. So you can see right there, I'm just scraping all that dirt away. There's no rust in here whatsoever. Okay, same thing, nice and clean there. This one nice and clean again. Just got some weird, sharp, whatever that was, but we'll get this all cleaned up in here with the hot seat and just make sure. I mean, there's a chance that we pull that, but I don't think there's gonna be anything in there. Okay, we'll get this all cleaned off. That should clean up nice and clean there. Nothing on the underside, beautiful there. Clean threads, again, these all float like they should. These ones are good, that one's good. Back skirting looks good. Here's your back corners. Couldn't really see when it's down the bushes. So, okay, so this is a good grade A tub and really ready to rock, especially if you want or need a roll bar, all right? So that's it. Everything else is pretty, got some damage, I believe. Let me see, make sure this one, I think this one's got something on it. Let's see. No, you know what? This one's not bad either. Got this one a few months ago. A little bit of surface on it. It's a white one. Corners are good. I don't think this one has any. Oh, this roll bar's already pulled, so we can already see that area. Let me get around here real quick. Yeah, this one looks good. Actually thought this one might have sold while I was gone, but it doesn't say sold on it. So I'm gonna say this one's available. And again, I'll put the phone down, we'll flip it up just to make sure. Don't see anything on the other side of it. Well, we got the roll bar. All right. Yeah, awesome. I was thinking we didn't have but two ready to go. So, okay, clean, clean, clean. Okay, just I'm showing you the problem here. I'll give you the overview of it here in a second. Okay, there. Okay, nice clean threads. Make sure that, yeah, all's nice and smooth. Same thing, nice and smooth. And then last one there. Okay, tunnel cover or tunnel bottom, nice and clean. Wheel wells, nice and clean. Look at the seams when you pull fender inner liners. These ones are gone, but we do sell these. Okay, start seeing a lot of leaching into the metal here. You're usually going to find it elsewhere, so that's another area. If you can pull if you're looking for a TJ to buy and the wheel well is not in it, or the liner, look back here. Look in this area where the roll bar is. Look at your channel here. Look at your seams. You see a lot of buildup here, especially if it gets up into this area where it's, you know, orangey and starting to flake, especially scaling. Usually if it's there, you're going to have, more than likely, you're going to have collapsed or starting to crack at least torque pockets. And like I said before, these are an intense one to repair and replace. So if you're a body guy, this is nothing. But if you're not, this is a big job for you to do. It's also a very expensive job if you were to pay somebody to do it. Usually when we do them, we cut the whole section out and then they just re-weld it all in. I don't have that other tub out here, I don't think, that we did it on. That is indeed. So I got 3 grade A, all variety shape, these two being the cleanest and then that other one being a little bit lower than that one. So, okay, questions, comments, concerns, hit me up, 303-666-9020. I appreciate everybody's patience. We've been on vacation the last couple weeks. We went out to Hawaii for 10 days, just got back home, and it's hard leaving. We had a guy quit on us when we left, so that's always a difficult thing. It seems to happen every time we leave. 7 acres out here. Let me focus. You're not blurry. There you go. Okay, we've got a ton of inventory. You know, when we moved in this yard 5 years ago, we had one thing. The guy I bought it from, a good friend of mine, had a Jeep, old, and it's actually still sitting down there. The old wagon, 1950s wagon. It was sitting in the middle of the yard. Everything else had a lot of shrubs around. It was empty. And I keep thinking I'm gonna have so much room out here, I'm gonna be able to rent some of this. And we've almost filled, we still have a good probably 2-3 acres in the middle there. And that's not even including our top lot, which is filled as well right now. So a lot of good inventory. And finally starting to hit, you know, where we're you know, taking us 5 years to kind of break even. Still haven't paid the property off, but we're getting there. So again, 303-666-9020. That's my little advertising, who we are, what we do. If you need anything else, we're starting in June, which is part of the reason you're starting to see trannies and transfer cases and stuff sitting out here with all these containers we just gutted. Starting in June, which is we go into our slower season starting in June, July, which doesn't mean much. I mean, we get a little slower, not a lot. But anyway, that's when we start inventory. So if you see our website showing a lot of zeros on it, call us because it might be sitting out here. We have a lot of stuff that we haven't got in inventory. Our busy season, which runs from January 1st until about June 15th, is absolutely 90 miles an hour. We have barely enough time, and it happens to be the time that we take a trip, which is in April almost every year, just to breathe, to make us through the rest of the season. So if you don't see something listed or see it out of stock, give us a call. There are some rare items that I don't always have, but sometimes we get them in. And yeah, we'll go from there. We appreciate everything. I got a trip tomorrow, just in case somebody sees this, that's in my route from here, it's Grand Junction, Colorado to Salt Lake City, not very far, about 4 hours. I got a tub going up there and a hard top. So if you're on my path and need something, I know I had a couple guys wanting roll bars, axles up there. If you see this video, happen to be tonight, I can throw it on that trailer. So I'm just carrying out my little trailer tomorrow. And then we'll be blasting out the East Coast again in the fall, late fall and Midwest and stuff. But we got a great hotshot company right now. take advantage while we have these guys, because freight is costing an exorbitant amount of money. Literally, freight made my wife cry earlier. That's how expensive. That's how passionate we are about what we do and for our customers. You know, we quote a price, and that's the price we stick to. We don't call people back and say, hey, freight guy said it's going to be another $700, which is exactly what happened this morning. And we scrambled and try to figure out what we can do. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, well, fortunate for a customer, but unfortunately for my pocketbook, we had to bite the bullet. You know, we said it was one thing, and that's what we stuck to. So, but my point is that these hotshot guys that are delivering the big freight, they won't do the little stuff, but the big stuff, our tubs, our frames. I don't know how long we're going to have these guys. You know, everything changes so quickly in this business. So take advantage of these guys, because we're able to get tubs and frames all the way to the East Coast. Okay, I'm talking New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Maine, even Florida, Alaska, you name it. We're able to get these things out for a fraction of what they were costing before. If we have to go back to freighting these things, you're talking not only the freight costs, East Coast freight, which is about $1,000 right now in a tub. It's half that, or a little bit, you know, a third of that, to do these hot shots. But also there's a crate fee in there. That's a $400 crate fee you guys are saving. So you're saving almost $1,000 just on that, and you're getting it way quicker, and it's getting to your door. You're not having to mess with the terminals or the business, having to ship to businesses. These guys will drop it off your front door. So take advantage of these while we have these guys. I can't emphasize that enough. I've been doing this. I'm going my 18th year selling nothing but Jeep parts, okay? I went to school for geology. This is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm the most blessed man in the world. My little boy, which is taking a nap right now, he's 2 years old, about to turn 3. He's down here almost every day with me. There's tons of videos of him. He's amazing, like all of our kids are. But this little guy, man, the other day he literally took an air hose. I put the filler on it with the gauge, and he literally put it on a tire, and then at the same time, on the other end with his other hand, fill the tire up. It just blew my mind. It just, in the flash of an eye, they're grown. So anyway, that's who we are. And if you don't know us, we used to be Jeeps Unlimited. We still go by that locally, and I won't get into all that, why we changed, but I love our new name, Parts Breakers, because we do a couple other things too. So, all right. Appreciate everything, guys. Again, 303-666-9020. Thanks for hanging out today. I know this was a long video. Partsbreakers.com.